Willow Creek Springs presents Healthy Living with your host, Joe Grumbine.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Healthy Living Podcast. I've got a very special guest with me today. Her name is Drew Ann Long, and she is the founder of Caroline's Cart, and it is really the only shopping cart available for special needs projects. And we're going to learn a lot today about a feature. More and more we talk about technology and applications and things that sort of stray outside my original vision with this podcast, which was, healing techniques and things like that. But it turns out we live in 2025, and there's all sorts of tools and resources that can help people that have compromised situations in this world. And without any further ado, Drew, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Excited. Happy to be here. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Beautiful. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Caroline's Cart? And I'm so interested to learn here.
Okay, thanks. I'm a married mom of three. I live in Alabama. I have three adult children now, but back in the day when my children were young, I shopped often, and I have a severely disabled child. My middle child, named Caroline, was born with severe disabilities, genetic, lifelong, doesn't walk or talk, never has, never will. She's now 20, almost 25. And I found myself, shopping all the time, and I would use the shopping carts that retailers provided, lots of options, fun carts, fire trucks, all the things for the toddlers. And I used those. And when she outgrew those, I went to my store manager and I said, hey, we're in small town Alabama. I'm sure there is a special needs shopping cart. Would you mind buying it for me? My husband traveled for a living, and I got to bring her in. And it was just too difficult to bring her wheelchair in, my other kids, and pulling the shopping cart. And I'm like, there has to be a special needs shopping cart. Well, lo and behold, there was not a special needs shopping cart. And
Wow.
I was really just shocked. And I thought, the special needs population is the world's largest minority group. We are in retails, pharmacies all the time. Our children have health issues. Why is there not a special needs shopping cart? And thus, 15 years ago, began my journey to change the status quo.
So this is an actual physical shopping cart.
Yes, here's a picture of it right here.
Oh, see, in my mind, this was some sort of an application thing. So you just...
Right, no, it's a physical product right here.
Wow.
And
Wow.
you can see it when you go out. I mean, we are everywhere. Here's the back side of it.
Wow.
It's just a larger seat for the older child and adult and senior adult that, might have dementia and cannot drive the electric scooters. It's a
Right.
very simple design, a very simple product that is now in every single Walmart in the nation.
Wow, no kidding. Congratulations. Good
Yeah, so
job.
last year, I was flown out to Bentonville, Arkansas. Walmart had said no for years and years and years, but last year in 2024, Walmart did a nationwide rollout of Caroline's Cart
Wow.
into every single Walmart, supercenter, and neighborhood market in the United States.
Wow.
So they're kept right in the front of the store. If you see the wheelchairs and the electric scooters, you will now see several of these for their special needs customers.
Now, I don't spend a whole lot of time at Walmart, but I'm going to go down there to our local one, and I'm going to go and shoot a picture of one. And
you will see it.
We're
also in every Target nationwide.
Wow.
Every Lowe's Home Improvement nationwide, if you have Lowe's near you.
Yeah, we do. We have all those. Yeah.
So yeah, we're there. You can see it.
I'll do a local audit for you and let you know what I find.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
That is amazing. So now this is a completely different conversation than I thought we were going to be having. I thought this was some sort of an electronic cart thing, and my mind had gone to a totally different direction. So now that I understand what we're dealing with, Um, how did you go from an idea to manufacturing to distribution? I mean, this is like a whole
Oh my
life
goodness.
journey. Yeah.
Well, okay. So let me set the scene. I have a college degree in business. I worked in accounting. Um, had my three children. Life was great. When my middle child was around 3, I realized with her severe disabilities, I was going to have to quit. So I found myself a stay-at-home mom with 3 littles and needing a product that did not exist. So I drew it on a piece of paper. Um, and I took my idea. There's 4 shopping cart manufacturers in the United States. I took my drawing to all 4. I didn't want money. I didn't want to do it. I wanted them to do it. I didn't have time. I didn't know how. They all dismissed me, said there wasn't a need. So
Wow. Like,
oh yeah,
how does that
wow.
even come about? I
Oh
mean,
yeah, wow.
we've got a gigantic disability problem in the United States, from veterans to, like you said, all the way to dementia and everything in between, which
World's largest minority group. They
huge.
weren't listening. They dismissed me. Had they walked 24 hours in my shoes, they
Wow.
would have snagged it. So
So,
here I am with this idea that no one wanted, but I believed in it enough to try to make a go of it. So, it took me years and years to get off the ground. Why is that? Because I didn't have the luxury of going to an office. I
right,
was a mom first. I had to do this when my kids napped, when my kids went to bed, and just try to figure it out. I'm like, okay, so how do I get this off of a piece of paper into a physical product?
right.
So yeah, it was years and years of work. I finally got my first prototype. A firm in Indiana built it for me. It was $28,000, and you couldn't sit in it. So I had it in my dining room.
So,
Um,
so let me backtrack there for a second, because like I'm a formulator, and I have the ability to create things from scratch, but on such a small scale that I know for somebody, like if I wanted to get a piece of equipment made, unless I had a fabricator that it was simple enough they could just, bend a piece of steel for me or something, it's a project. So you found some sort of a fabricator, and you were able to give this design to, they were able to understand it well enough to do something for you. And
I
they
drew it on paper. They took it from paper to an actual physical cart.
got it. And that cost you $28,000 out of your pocket.
Out of my pocket. Now our savings is gone. I drove up to Indianapolis. I picked it up, loaded it in the back, took all the seats out of my minivan, brought it home, took pictures of it in my dining room, and started social media. If it was not for social media, we wouldn't be having this conversation today, because it
Wow.
was the only avenue I had. I was not corporate America. Corporate America should have done this. I took it to them. They shot it down.
I get it.
So, created social media, and the instant I went to social media, I had, and I am not kidding, thousands of emails week
Really?
1 asking me where they could shop with this cart, because
Really?
it just exploded week 1. I'm like, oh my
Wow.
goodness, I only have a prototype in my dining room. I
Now you
don't
got a
have a
different problem. Yeah.
I now I had a different problem, but I needed that community, that grassroots effort. That is what, number one, reassured me that this was a need, that this was not crazy.
Right.
I knew that it wasn't, but I needed this grassroots momentum and effort and support from people all over the world were wanting the shopping cart.
Well, and it's more than just a need. So there's two elements to this, because I deal with people that have real needs, but there's not an understanding of there's a solution available. And so to get that message, social media can be very instrumental in that, because people are paying attention to social media.
Right.
I'm not that good at social media, so even though I throw things up there, that doesn't get grabbed the way. But you had a particular type of product that reached a particular audience, that they were able to embrace your idea in a meaningful way, because there was nothing out there that represented what
Nothing.
you did.
Nothing. It's
Awesome.
one of a kind. So
Wow.
after I've created this demand, I'm in panic mode. thinking, how in the world? Now I need a manufacturer. But all the
Right.
manufacturers told me no.
Right.
So once I had my first prototype, I drove it. I'm like, okay, there's 4 that told me no. I'm going to narrow it down to 1. So I went to the largest, the best, the biggest is in North Carolina. Every
Okay.
shopping cart you've ever touched comes out of North Carolina.
All right. Now I know
So,
anything.
yeah, fun fact, now you know. So now I took my prototype to North Carolina and I'm like, I'm back. So this is trip number 2. Showed
Right.
them my product. They told me no a second time.
Nice. Of course.
Cried all the way home.
Right.
I'm like, well, this is going to be dead if I don't have, I have to have a manufacturer.
Right.
So it took me another year about to hunt and peck and work on this from the ballpark, from the hospital room, I had little kids. And again, I'm doing this when I can in my
Right.
in my spare time. I'm not
Sure.
corporate America. So I found a shopping cart no. I found a manufacturer in Georgia that made the lumber carts for Lowe's. If you ever go get the
Okay.
big,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
sheets. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, okay, this is in my wheelhouse, but not in my wheelhouse.
Right.
I'll make you 100 carts.
Really?
100 cost me $100,000.
Holy cow.
So
Wow.
have no money. My husband and I had to go to our retirement 401k, which you are told to never, ever, ever, ever touch that. But
Absolutely.
we didn't have a choice. It was either fund this with our retirement,
Right.
or it was
Watch it
not going.
die.
It was not going to happen. So that's what we did. I took the biggest risk that I didn't think I was a risk taker, but I became the ultimate risk taker. So
Yeah.
I had 100 carts. What am I going to do with these 100 carts now? Now, mind you, I've got patents got patent fees, patent attorneys, all the things. So I'm well more into debt than 100,000. Overall, I will
Yeah, I
tell you.
know patents can be very expensive. And then
Oh,
there's a giant problem with patent attorneys. Sometimes they steal your idea. Hi, this is Joe Grumbine, and I wanted to share an update. The platform that hosts this podcast has made some changes to the subscriber settings, and we have a number of subscriber-only episodes that we offer to the supporters, and for a minimum of $3 a month, we can get you signed up. And if you're already signed up and you're having some kind of trouble locating these episodes in the other platforms, I would say maybe the best answer is to unsubscribe and then resubscribe. I'm sorry for the hassle. I don't have any way to make a change, but I'm very grateful for all the support. Thank you.
oh yeah. Well, they didn't steal mine. I was blessed with that. But
Good.
I am hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt,
Right.
draining our 401k. So now I have 100 carts. I go to Walmart, Target, all the big dogs, and I show them my product, and I tell them about them. They won't buy it from me. They
Right.
said, we only buy from the shopping cart manufacturer in North Carolina.
Of course.
And I didn't have the guts to tell them. They told me no twice. I said,
Right.
oh, great. So cry for a couple of months. I'm like, okay, I've now have spent our entire retirement, and no
Right.
one will buy this.
Right.
So I had to go a different route, and that route was the smaller, locally owned mom and pop stores, is what I call them.
Okay.
So the ones that don't have the bureaucracy that really no one's ever heard of.
Right.
So
Don't necessarily care about that one company in North Carolina.
that's right. That's right. So, well, they actually did buy those shopping carts from North Carolina, but they also took a chance on me.
Well, they
So
didn't have a contract that said we're going to only buy from you.
That's
We're
right.
gonna
That's
buy
right. That's right.
100
They
million of them.
that's
Yeah.
right. So I literally got a map out, and I thought, well, I need to seed the market with these 100 carts. Let me back up. There was only 88 carts because there was a fire at the manufacturer.
Oh,
So
of course there was.
of course there was. I got none of my money back for those 12 carts, which was
Of course you
critical.
didn't.
That's a whole nother story, but I now have 88 carts that I need to seed the market with. So I didn't want to seed the market only in Alabama. I needed this to be a nationwide grassroots movement. So I literally looked up mom and pop stores all over the nation. And my first sale was in Sunset Foods, a locally owned mom and pop store that has 5 chains in Chicago. That was sale
Really?
number one.
It's a
Once
long
I
way from
got,
North Carolina.
what's that?
I said that's a
Yeah.
long way from home. Yeah.
Well, and I'm in Alabama.
Right. I'm sorry. I got a little
Right,
confused there.
right. I'm in Alabama. So sale
Yeah,
number
that's even
one.
longer away from Alabama.
Oh, right, right. So once I got that one cart number one in Sunset Foods, I go
Yeah.
to social media. And I'm like, if you have special needs or senior adults, here it is. Go to this location
Yeah.
and take pictures and post. That was cart
Nice.
number.
That
That
was
was cart number
smart.
one. So then cart number two, I believe, was Michigan. Cart number three, I believe, was maybe out west. So it took me about a year to seed the market with the 88 carts
So
all
let
over.
me ask you this. How much did you sell these carts for?
I believe back in the early days, they were around $900.
So you sold it for cheaper than it cost you to buy it for.
Oh, 100%. Oh, I
Yeah.
made no money on this
No, I get it. I just
yeah.
want to make sure the listeners understand
Oh, yeah, it was,
what you're going through, because I do. I create things from scratch as well, and I know all the
yeah,
the
right.
the heartbreak and losses,
Heartbreak, right,
and
right. Oh,
everything that you deal with, and most of the time nothing comes of it. But when you're persistent like you are, and you got the dream and the vision and the drive, we can make anything happen. You're
sure.
showing
Well,
that.
none of this made sense financially. I mean, we were
Oh,
losing money every single month. It was, we just, if it wasn't for our 401k, I
yeah.
didn't work. My husband was traveling and working, and it's everything we funneled into this cart. So after about a year, I had 88 carts strategically placed throughout the United States. The rumble has started.
Right.
People, I mean, it's grow. I mean, only it took 88 carts. It's growing on social media. It's growing. It's growing. About a year and a half, I'm sitting at this exact same dining room table, and my phone rings, and it said North Carolina.
Holy
I only
cow.
know one person in North Carolina, and that was the shopping cart manufacturer that told me no twice. I
Wow.
answered the phone, and they said, okay, we've got Walmart and Target and all the big dogs calling us saying, we have rogue moms threatening that if we do not get, it was the best, awesome. It was epic,
Oh my
epic.
God.
Saying if
Oh,
we don't get Caroline's cart, they're going to get the local TV station out here and they are going to publicly shame us. So
wow.
they said, come up, it's time to talk. My third trip to North Carolina, I got an international manufacturing contract.
Holy cow.
That's how it happened.
Wow. I am blown away. Like that is true grassroots all
Oh,
happening without even your direction. Like you weren't telling these people to do this. They were just doing it.
right. Well, it
Wow.
just proves the need. Anybody can point. Let me just say this to all your listeners. It's
Yeah.
very, very easy to point out a problem.
Oh yeah. I talk about that all
Anybody
the
can
time.
do that. But
Yeah.
who's going to throw? My husband always says anybody can and throw the grenade, but who's going to throw their body on the grenade? Who's
Exactly. I, I I I share so many common experiences with you on totally different wavelengths and totally
yeah,
different things, but the heartbreak and the commitment and the just somehow knowing that I'm just going to keep going, even though it makes no sense at all.
makes no sense. It
Uh,
is. It is. Yeah,
one beautiful thing I see here is that your husband supported you throughout all of this.
100%
And
right.
and that generally doesn't happen, or it
Right.
seldom happens, where
Right.
if those two people can stand together with the same dream, just about anything's possible. And
Sure.
and that's huge.
Yeah.
So kudos to your husband who isn't standing there with you right now, but I know he's standing behind you.
Oh, 100%. Couldn't have done it without the support of my family. Of course, my husband, he had to work. I mean, I felt like I was on an island. So,
Right.
yes, he was my cheerleader, but he worked for a big corporate America and traveled for a living. So, I basically, during this, was a single mom during the week with
Right.
3 littles, one severely disabled that I was in and out of the hospital with all of the time,
Wow.
trying to change the culture of retail shopping from my minivan, from my dining room table, just trying. And I don't know if I could do it again. I'm so
Yeah,
glad
yeah,
that
yeah. I hear you. I
I
hear you.
mean, had I known that we were it cost $500,000 of our
Yeah,
money to get this from a piece of paper
right.
to corporate America. Had I known that, would I have done it? Of course not.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
yeah. No,
But
agree.
today, Caroline's card is in 8 countries. A
Wow.
couple summers ago, we sent a shipment to Dubai. So if any of your
Wow.
listeners are in Dubai, I sure would love pictures of Caroline's cart because it's there.
I love that. That is amazing. So I want to jump into the social media side of things because I'm going to make a guess that based on your demographic and the time that you're talking about, that Facebook was a piece of this, um, maybe Instagram and TikTok, but
Yep. Yep.
and so you were able to jump into an existing market. Facebook's been around for a long time, but these newer platforms that are being accessed by younger groups. And people don't realize that, people in our generation, we've got, kids, grandkids, and all these things, but there's, young parents in their 20s and 30s that have special needs kids that are in the exact same boat that we are, and yet they're using whole different means of communication than many of us are even aware of. So you were fortunate to be able to tap into that. And you said people were reaching out to you directly. So now you've probably got a direct message and an inbox that's just being flooded constantly.
It was constant. It was so much. Let me say this too. It was so much pressure, but it was a good pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
It was getting requests from all over the world. Um, but I needed that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, no,
I
I
cried.
do.
I cried
The
a lot because
reinforcement.
it was so much pressure. But it was the pressure that encouraged me. That was like,
Right.
okay, yes. I mean, I can't pay my bills this month, but they need it in South Africa. I got to
No,
keep going.
no, I completely get it. I worked with the civil rights nonprofit. I built one that I, used for my own needs, but as I was paying back and traveling around the country helping other people and broke as hell, and still I'd have people call me up and say, I don't know, this thing you said or this thing you did helped my mom in a way that like it changed our life. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll keep going,
Right.
like
100%.
I get it.
100%. You got to have that because, entrepreneurship, challenging the status quo, especially in what I did. And it had never happened before. So and it just made it harder. And let me say this, I created a product that the consumer wanted, but the consumer couldn't buy it.
Right.
I had to, so I'm like, I've got the entire world's largest minority group wanting this, and they
Right.
can't buy it. I got to go
Right.
to the retailer, which I thought would just be like, oh yes, we want it, we want it. They didn't. They didn't. It took
They
it
didn't even
took
see
me
the need, though. That's the crazy thing. They spend millions and millions of dollars on these people in advertising and market research and focus groups and all these things to find products for them to have. And they miss this one entirely.
entirely, entirely. So it was a hard sell to these retailers. And Caroline's cart was not something that they bought and marked up and made money on.
Right. They
I
just
came off the
provided it
bottom
for their
line.
people. Yeah, that was just a service.
I came off the bottom line. So millions of people create products and bring them to market and sell them to consumers. That was not me.
Right.
I was the unicorn. I was,
Yeah.
find me another mom, dad that created such a needed product, but they had to bypass the people group that wanted it the most. Much
Absolutely.
harder.
Wow, this is a powerful story. Um, as you're going along in your journey, before you had gotten a call back from North Carolina, were the people that you were connecting with telling you in any way that they were approaching these retail stores, quote unquote, threatening them? Were you even aware of this at all?
100%. And
Oh, good, good.
I may or may have not encouraged them to do so.
I
I'll never
love it. I
tell
love it. I love it.
because
That's what I was hoping to hear.
this people don't realize. I don't have the stat in front of me, but I know it's a trillion with a. I'm sorry, a billion with a B. the annual special needs consumer spending is in the billions of dollars everywhere in the United States.
Sure.
We have money to spend. We are out in your communities.
Right.
You cannot ignore this growing population any longer. So
Well,
I
and it's
became
not
the
like there's
voice.
a discount special needs service either. You know,
For sure.
anytime anybody has a medical or personal care need that goes outside of the big box stuff made in Indonesia and China, um, by the billions, the price is tenfold, 20-fold, a
Simple. Oh,
hundredfold.
yeah, 100%. So I was kind of the leader behind this movement because we are highly overlooked and underserved, and that had to change. And I was leading that change. And again, it was the worst pressure, but it was the greatest pressure because I knew they had my back. you know I could not have brought this product to market without the millions of worldwide special needs families that supported me. You know, um, and again, Caroline's Cart was created for my daughter that is disabled. But let me say this: the number one user of Caroline's Cart, and I track all this, is the autistic community. These are
Wow.
kids that walk just fine, but they're runners. They're
Right.
overstimulated. They need
Right.
to sit in, they're adults. They need to sit in this to be secure and safe and not run
Right.
off. The
Right.
second largest user of Caroline's Cart is the senior adult community.
I
That was a
love it.
demographic that was not on my radar. Not
Wow.
everyone can drive electric scooters.
Yeah. No, it's so
Not
true.
everyone can drive electric scooters.
What happens to somebody when they can't perform the normal functions? They get locked in a box,
100%.
and
100%.
this opens
Um,
that door for them.
and I think those that use Caroline's Card, that surprised me the most. My mom had cancer. She had pancreatic cancer. It was tough. It was rough. I would take her to chemo and radiation right next door to a grocery store. Then I would then put her in Caroline's cart. She was so weak. She couldn't walk.
I
And I
understand.
could I could get her the things she needed. So I mean, I used it with my mom who was dying of cancer.
Right.
And I hear that all of the time. It is the only thing that is out there for needs like that. It is not
Uh,
just for the special needs community.
well, I am absolutely going to be going to my Lowe's, Target, and Walmart and see if I can find that cart. And if I
Please.
can't, I will let you know
Well,
where.
it's there. If it's not there, it's being used because
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, I'll go in the morning when they first, when they're probably all the carts are sitting there, and
there you go.
if I can't track it down. So we're running up to that special time right now, and this show took a completely different twist from what my expectations were. Even though we talked ahead of time, I was like, I just it's crazy. I'm dealing with chemo myself, so as much as I never understood it before I went through it, it does scramble your brains a bit, and so you lose.
My mom used to call it chemo brain.
Yeah, yeah, I do too now.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had people tell me that. I'm like, yeah, yeah, sure. Just suck it up, Buttercup. And
right.
turned around when your brain's swimming in it, you're just like, yeah, what's a Buttercup?
That's right, for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's very humbling, but it's also good to be humble. So I hope that they're giving you a beautiful royalty for what you're getting, and I hope this turns out to give you back, a thousandfold what you put into this. You're one of the few people that I know that deserves the beautiful wealth that so few people get. So I want to
I appreciate that.
just see all that, and I support you in every way I could. So why don't you give us your parting shot? Tell us that message. You got so many, I couldn't even begin to know which one you're going to pull out, and then tell us, once again, how they can find you and
Sure.
support.
Well, if you see my shirt, Caroline's Cause, a couple years ago, my husband and I started a nonprofit to give back to the community that made Caroline's Cart possible. So we
Love
now have a scholarship fund called Caroline's Cause, and we give college scholarships, a one-time college scholarships to a family that is raising both special needs and typical kids. I am
Wow.
unable to fund them all. I get so many, it's exploding. But, I look for speaking engagements. If any of your listeners, I travel and I speak. My website is drewandspeaks. That's DREWANN speaks.com. You can find the cart information, the cause information, and how do I fund my scholarships? I do that through speaking engagements. Anyone that gives to Caroline's cause or hires me to speak, it is a nonprofit. You can pay this and get a tax deduction. It's like you're paying my honorarium to come speak, and that's how I'll leave it. DrewAnnSpeaks.com.
That's beautiful. Well, Drew Ann, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed this conversation immensely. I want to thank you for joining our show. And, if you ever want to come back and share some kind of an update about your nonprofit or any of this great work, I always welcome our guests that we have a good conversation to come back and
Absolutely. I would love to.
beautiful. All right. Well, this has been another edition of the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine. I want to thank all the listeners that make this possible, and we will see you next time. This has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. We produce this show so that people can share their stories, people that have overcome obstacles, people that are undergoing obstacles. We're building a community of health-minded individuals. If you're interested in supporting the show, please leave a review on the platform you're listening to it on. If you're interested in becoming a guest, please send an email to itsjoegrumbine@gmail.com, or you can send a note into the notes section of the podcast. All right. Well, thank you for supporting this show, and we hope you've enjoyed it.